Yoon-ae and Yoo-kyung were best friends in high school. But their friendship shattered when they both fell in love with the same man, Jang Kyung-won. Kyung-won and Yoon-ae were deeply in love with each other. But Yoon-ae broke up with Kyung-won when she learned that he got Yoo-kyung pregnant. Kyung-won claimed that he was drunk, though he admitted to his mistake. But Yoon-ae had decided to end their relationship. Yoo-kyung claimed she was pregnant with Kyung-won's child, and he was compromised to marry her. What no one knew was that Yoon-ae was also pregnant with his child. 12 years later, on the night of Na-Yeon's 12th birthday, her mother Yoon-ae met with Yoo-kyung. That night, Yoon-ae confronted Yoo-kyung about her dark secret and planned to reveal the truth to Kyung-won. But fate was cruel, as Yoon-ae got struck by a speeding truck in the middle of the rain. And Yoo-kyung took the chance to steal the evidence Yoon-ae had against her. Barely alive, she reached out for help, but Yoo-kyung turned her back and left her to die. Without Yoo-kyung knowing, Yoon-ae was holding a piece of her earring, the only proof that could expose her crime. At the hospital, Na-Yeon found her mother's lifeless body and found the earring hidden in her hand. She kept it close to her heart and promised to find the woman who owned it. The deceased truck driver who hit Yoon-ae was an employee of Kyung-won's company. Coincidentally, while Kyung-won visited the deceased employee's funeral, he ran into the wake of Yoon-ae. And there, he saw Na-Yeon, his daughter, with Yoon-ae without him knowing. He introduced himself as her mother's old friend and that they've gone busy with their lives and lost touch. After her mother's death, Na-Yeon would be taken to an orphanage since she had no other family. Feeling guilty and heartbroken, he went to see Na-Yeon and decided to take her under his care. Na-Yeon was introduced to his family, including his daughter, Se-jin. At first, Se-jin seemed to accept Na-Yeon warmly into their home. It didn't take long, and she began to notice how her father cared for Na-Yeon as if she were his own child. Jealousy grew in Se-jin's heart, and she started to treat Na-Yeon badly. After discovering that Na-Yeon was Yoon's daughter, Yoo-kyung started to treat Na-Yeon poorly as well. Yoo-kyung never liked Na-Yeon, for she was the daughter of her late rival and a painful reminder of her past lies. She treated Na-Yeon harshly and made her work like a housemaid. She was even transferred to the maid's room as well. One day, while cleaning Yoo-kyung's bathroom, she found a ripped photo of her mom. Because of this, she checked on Yoo-kyung's drawer, and there she found the other pair of the earring she found in her late mother's hand. Before she could react, Yoo-kyung caught her holding it and accused her of stealing the other pair. Kyung-won, unaware of the truth, was disappointed and decided to send Na-Yeon back to the orphanage. Na-Yeon didn't want to go back to their house either. During her stay in their house, Na-Yeon met two boys who would later play important roles in her life. Hee-kyung, Se-jin's uncle and Yoo-kyung's younger brother, was gentle and kind to her. Tae-jun, a poor but intelligent boy who earned a scholarship with Kyung-won's help. Kyung-won introduced Tae-jun into their household and had her tutor Se-jin. Prior to this, Tae-jun and Na-Yeon had already met. He didn't like how she was treated like a maidservant in Se-jin's house. When Na-Yeon was sent to the orphanage, a woman went to see her and claimed she has been looking for her in every orphanage in the country. Apparently, the woman was the widow of the truck driver who had hit her mom. Because of her guilty conscience, she asked Na-Yeon to come live with her. Na-Yeon initially rejected it, but the woman begged and she gave in. Na-Yeon and Tae-jun became close friends and continued to stay in touch even after she was sent back to the orphanage. "15 years later, Tae-jun and Na-Yeon have become a couple. She has been living with her adoptive family, who have welcomed her with open arms. She didn't finish school, so she works several jobs to help support Tae-jun's education, since his scholarship from years ago fell through. On top of that, she takes care of him at the same time, attending to his needs and all. Tae-jun graduated and begins working at Kyungwon's company. He is soon offered to take his MBA in America that will keep him away for several years. He initially doesn't want to leave, and Na-Yeon refuses to hold him back, even though she is already pregnant and he doesn't know. Before he departs, they promise to marry each other when he returns. Tae-jun didn't tell Na-Yeon that he was going to study abroad with Se-jin, who liked him ever since they were young. When they return 5 years later, the two are already engaged and are preparing for their wedding. Tae-jun turns his back on Na-Yeon, who has been raising their 5-year-old daughter alone. He is even more shocked to discover they have a daughter. Yoo-kyung, however, disapproves of Tae-jun because he comes from a poor family. But Se-jin is deeply in love with him, and Yoo-kyung is determined to make sure Na-Yeon never comes near him again. Her schemes grow darker, until she successfully has Na-Yeon locked away in a mental hospital. Na-Yeon's adoptive family is powerless, so her sister, though not by blood, seeks help from Do-hee, a reporter and ghostwriter who looks exactly like Na-Yeon, in hopes to expose Tae-jun and Se-jin's betrayal. Do-hee becomes curious about Na-Yeon's story, especially after seeing her photo, and is shocked by their uncanny resemblance. Intrigued by her story and suspecting that she could be her estranged twin sister, Do-hee decides to step in and help free Na-Yeon from the mental hospital. During this time, Do-hee and Hee-kyung, Se-jin's uncle, start seeing each other after they are arranged on a blind date. Their first encounter goes awful as she barges into his workplace uninvited. He finds her repulsive, while she finds him a rude jerk. She suggests that they make a deal to just see and put up with each other until their parents leave them alone. Do-hee is only interested in getting the scoop behind Hee-kyung's divorce with his wealthy ex-wife. But as she begins to uncover the truth, her feelings toward him change, and she tells him she wants to date him for real. And as time goes by, her blunt and cold demeanor grows on him. Hee-kyung flips and suddenly finds himself drawn to her, becoming genuinely interested. However, Do-hee has to make a choice between standing up against the injustice done to Na-Yeon or protecting Se-jin, his niece. And, to his dismay, she chooses to help Na-Yeon at the expense of losing him. Prior to finally meeting Na-Yeon at the hospital where she is being confined, Do-hee gets the result of the DNA test between her and Na-Yeon, confirming her suspicions that they are twin sisters. Do-hee disguises herself to look exactly like Na-Yeon and sneaks into the hospital where she is strictly confined. Na-Yeon had an accident while trying to escape from being locked in the mental hospital, and she lost her memories. When they finally come face to face, Na-Yeon is stunned by how identical they look. Do-hee introduces herself, reminds Na-Yeon about herself and her daughter, and them being sisters, showing her the result of their DNA test. Their emotional reunion is cut short. With time not on their side, Do-hee quickly instructs Na-Yeon of her plan for them to switch places so Na-Yeon can escape and see her sick daughter. But soon after, a sudden fire breaks out inside the hospital. Do-hee, who is suffering from a congenital disease, gets trapped in the flames and tragically dies. Because Na-Yeon is the registered patient, the authorities declare her dead instead of Do-hee, leaving her loving adoptive family behind. But Na-Yeon manages to escape as Do-hee. She survived the fire. Upon waking up, she slowly regains her memory as Na-Yeon, even the last moments she had with Do-hee at the hospital. And when she checks on her sick daughter, she discovers her daughter has already died. Out of rage, she vows to kill them all. After losing her daughter and her identity, Na-Yeon assumes the life of Do-hee. Do-hee was the only beloved daughter of a wealthy family. With this new identity, Na-Yeon begins to scheme her perfect revenge against Yu-kyung, Se-jin, and Tae-jun. She has become sharper, stronger, and always one step ahead of her enemies. As she seeks vengeance, she crosses paths again with Hee-kyung, never suspecting that he is the same gentle boy who once showed her kindness long ago. Hee-kyung becomes drawn to her, believing she is truly Do-hee. He has no idea that the woman before him is actually Na-Yeon, the little girl he once knew. Na-Yeon, now living as Do-hee, swears to destroy Tae-jun and Se-jin's lives, just as they once did to her. She will turn every deceit and cruelty back on her, making Se-jin feel the same pain she once caused. Se-jin once stole the man Na-Yeon loved, and now Na-Yeon will give her a taste of her own medicine. Na-Yeon will also set the perfect trap to expose Yu-kyung's secrets, her lies, and her part in her late mother's tragic death. The promise begins with Na-Yeon enduring every blow from her enemies. She starts as a warm and innocent woman, only to be shaped by pain into someone strong, cold, and calculating. And then in her revenge era, she plays her cards with precision, turning every wound into a weapon. This is one of the most satisfying revenge dramas to watch, where justice, love, and vengeance collide.